weren't going to get cast in. Well, Kenny thought he was, but I
tried watching One Piece. I had some of my fellow anime actors go, "You're doing what?"
To a cat, that'd be fun to be another species for a while.
You guys don't realize how difficult that was.
That's what he does with Red Bull, but it's not the same.
Now, coverage like no other. Bringing you videos from the event floor. You're watching convention coverage.
Favorite part, and I was like, and Sam had actually said that. She goes, "You're just going to meet the nicest people." Yeah. I'm so impressed with everyone's creativity. I love the cosplay. And it's just been so nice to just have people come up and to just have a moment to talk with you all and meet you, because we work alone a lot. Like Sam and I met, Sam and Kenny and I, we've all met for the first time. Like I've been doing Rosalina since 2013, and I just met them yesterday in person for the first time.
And it's funny, history repeats itself, because the aforementioned 2019 was Sam's first show, and it was here.
Yeah, I think it was 2018 even.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
2018?
And I was so scared. I was like, oh, I've never done anything like this. And I'm sort of an introvert, so I thought, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. But it was like the best experience. And I just keep saying is if the rest of the world had the same atmosphere, like a con, like this con, the world would be so beautiful and so squared away. So yeah, I love coming here.
It's definitely great to have you here. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm jaded, I don't care.
Guys. Yay.
Yes. Oh, and anyway, you asked what's been going on, right?
Yeah,
I was probably talking about it the last time I was here, that I was like, I want to do anime. Well, I moved to Dallas, and so now I'm doing anime.
Are you working at Funimation? Or?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Can you talk about it?
Most of it's bits and pieces still, but I'm working my way up. I've done a lot of One Piece.
Oh.
I just did I finally got to do an episode of Attack on Titan, but I was man to be. So
gotta pay your dues, Kenny. Gotta pay your dues.
Yeah, it was like 2 lines, and it's like, okay, that's all I have for you. I was like, yeah, but I was on the show, man. So I have recurring character, and my senpai is annoying, and I'm the department chief. The guy has no eyes. He's got like bangs, but he has no eyes. I don't know why they draw people like that. It's scary. But I had a recurring character on certain scientific railgun. So I've been doing stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the goat guy.
What's that?
The goat guy.
Goat guy?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, on One Piece, I was Miyagi. He was a goat and a doctor.
The goat guy.
It's One Piece.
Hey, goat's got to make a living too. I mean, why not a doctor?
Yeah, I asked them, and I said, they were like, okay, in this shot, he's going to be running away, freaking out. And I went, how goaty do you want him? They're like, goated up, man. I was like, all right. So he takes off running, and I'm all, it was like, was that goaty enough? They're like, yeah, that was a little
goaty.
too long.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I go from to, so it's weird. It's strange being me.
So, my question is, for all 3 of you, what was your favorite game to voice, and what's your favorite game to play, like Mario game, and why?
My favorite one to voice was probably Odyssey, just because of the wedding and it was awesome. And it was so cool, that story. And then my favorite one to play is Mario Kart. I love.
And my favorite game was the first one I voiced, because I think most people know this, but I'm the third person to voice Rosalina. So my first game was Super Mario 3D World in 2013. So I did that one, and that was just super exciting. That was my first experience. And my favorite one to play is probably Mario Kart 2, and I usually raced as Peach. If you look at my Instagram, there's a picture I posted on there because I was working on a horrible play, and there was a friend of mine who's a big gamer, and we had done a previous play together, and he had just gotten a DS Lite, and I was obsessed with it. Like anytime I wasn't on stage, I was like playing his game. So he was like, "Give me money, I'll go get you one." So he got me like this light pink DS Lite. And then when we were working on this other show together that no one was enjoying being a part of, whenever we were off stage, we would race Mario Kart against each other. There were like 3 of us, and we had these fancy costumes, and I would like just put it in the pocket of my costume. We'd like go on stage, it'd be on pause. We'd like do our scene, and then we'd come off and we'd like race more. But
You should check out her Instagram. She's got a picture of her in this Victorian dress with a corset and
old
everything
wig.
else, and then she's got a little circle goes, my light dance light is in my pocket.
and I was like, Sam, we didn't know each other then, but you were on stage with me because you were like paused.
That's so cute.
in my pocket.
Yay!
Okay, I guess it's me.
Your turn.
Your first title was my most painful title.
That's for the one where you actually tasted blood?
Yeah. 3D World, when I did Meowser, a lot of you people already know this, but I tore myself up to the point where I could taste blood in my throat. So, but contrary to what the internet says, I never lost my voice. Thank you. But so that's one of my favorites as far as recording was 3D World because of the challenge of Meowser. They dropped Meowser on me like an anvil, you know. I mean, I turned the page in the script and I said, "What's Meowser?" And it's a power up, and they explained it, and I went, "What do you want him to sound like?" And they went, "We don't know." And I was like, "All right." So I had to come up with this wildcat at the same time. I didn't overdub. It was all coming out of my face until I was shredded. But 3 days later, I was singing in a musical, so awesome. I never lost my voice. As far as playing goes, I'm really digging Odyssey right now. I still haven't finished it. I'll never get 100% on it. Now, even IGN can't get me to 100% on that game. So I've been digging it, though. It's a fun game, and I like driving a lot, so just about anything kart to add on to that. So I like driving games of all sorts. Okay.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, are there any places that you would recommend to new and aspiring voice actors to get their feet wet?
Theater.
It's acting, you know. I mean, someone was just talking to me about this down in the autograph room, and there's games where they want you to do funny voices, you know, like you'll do a voice that doesn't sound like your own, but a lot of what you see come through, especially for things like anime and stuff, they want you to be able to act, to be scared, to be in love, to be angry and yelling at someone or sounding like you're in battle. Like so many of the situations in a voiceover game are just straight up acting exercises, and it's not just about doing a voice. They want you to sound just like you at the age you are right now. So there's a lot of power in bringing everything that is so you to the table, like not trying to pretend like you don't have a dialect if you have one, like going ahead and using that. Not trying to sound older or younger than you are, or though if you can, great. But yeah, going to school and studying acting and being an actor is probably the thing that's going to take you the farthest in this.
Yeah, and meeting people. I think knowing, different people in the business. There's a lot of places where you can do voice jobs now, like Voice 123, and they're looking to recruit people for different jobs. And so if you don't have an agent, that's a way to get your stuff out there a little bit. And what we always say, too, is just practice reading things. Read anything you can and read it as if you're trying to convince someone that you mean it with all your heart. You know how like sometimes you read something and it just sounds wooden, it doesn't sound like you're putting your whole self into it. And so just the more you practice that kind of thing, the more when you get called into an audition or you're going to read for someone, you can just show them, hey, I'm fully here, I'm fully inhabiting this character, and here I am. And that's what wins you jobs. Yeah, good question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Theater. That's what I always tell people. It's like,
Theater.
you want to start acting, do community theater, man. Do it.
Hi.
Hello. Hey, so what are guys' thoughts on the voice cast for the Mario movie that's coming?
I'm excited.
I-
Seriously, we knew we weren't going to get cast in it. Well, Kenny thought he was, but I was like, no. But I was like,
Well, that's 'cause he
it's going to
doesn't
be
talk.
cool.
Yeah, Rosalina's not even in every game, so I was like, I wasn't expecting that. But I mean, I think that's pretty typical for those movies, like where they'll do more celebrities in those things, and I think it's fine. Yeah.
Have you guys heard have you actually heard Chris Pratt's Mario?
I
I'm
haven't heard it.
curious. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't
No.
seen a trailer. Have you seen one? Is there one out there?
Nothing. No,
Not yet.
nothing.
Yeah. No, I'm excited.
They probably haven't even done anything yet.
No.
I personally, I was a little disappointed at first, but since then I was like, well, I kind of knew it was coming. You know, I was like, they're not going to spend that much money on a production and not throw A's and B's, you know, A-listers and stuff in there. I was like, okay. So when it happened, I was like, I knew it.
I do think it's cool that they have Charles in it because, you know, I mean, he did.
He is the guy.
That
Yeah.
was so much the star of it. So I thought that was a great nod to the games that they did
I
that.
could still show up in there. They're going to need.
They
Yeah,
might.
they-
How is
They need
everyone
that.
feeling about the movie? Are you guys excited
Pandas-
about it?
pandas
or
can't growl
in between?
like that.
Yeah?
We have to see a trailer first. And
Yeah,
before
agreed.
anything
Yeah.
happens.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really interested, so I can't wait.
It could be, was it John Leguizamo, and it could be all them again. That would
Yeah.
be absolutely terrible, but
I hope it's at least really, really funny.
Bob Hoskins,
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah. The old days. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question. Do you guys have a favorite anime you like to watch or a show?
I like Attack on Titan a lot.
That's my favorite too.
I think the story is fantastic, and it's horrifying at times, which makes it a lot of fun. I tried watching One Piece from the beginning.
Don't worry, no one can watch that.
I
honestly.
I started it, and then I had some of my fellow anime actors go, "You doing what?" And I was like, "I'm going to watch it from the beginning." They go, "You know how many episodes there are, right?" And I was like, "No." And I think at the time they were dubbing in the 600s, and so I was like, "Oh, 600 and something. Okay, well that's great." The Japanese are over 1,000 now.
No,
So, and we're dubbing, I think we're still in the 700s dubbing it to English. So, that's a long haul. So I'm going to stick with Titan. I haven't watched any season 4 though, so don't say anything.
I haven't been watching any series, but I will say, like, one of my, not just my favorite anime movie, but like just in a top movies all, I love Spirited Away. Yeah. There was a no face walking around here today, and we were so excited. We my person from Celebworks actually has a no face tattoo on her arm. We're like, come over here. But yeah, I love that movie, and I love all the work from Gilby Studios. I think is just beautiful and fascinating. And I did not realize James Marsden, who's here today, did the dragon in that. Like that, he's like sitting. Yeah, like he's the voice of the dragon in that. I thought that was so exciting.
It's really cool. I haven't watched it any anime at all. I have a 9-year-old, so I'm Disney princesses. Any Disney movie, I'm in. That's it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We love your cosplay.
Moving right along.
But my question is, how do y'all feel about voicing these iconic video game characters?
I think it's pretty neat.
Riveting answer. Thank you.
I really didn't realize how big time it was. I was cast in 2004, and I still did my regular job up until just a few years ago, and nobody knew that I was the voice of Bowser, and I didn't just walk around going, "I'm Bowser, damn it," So, yeah, I was just doing my regular thing, and then people started paying attention, and then I figured out it's like, oh, all right, this is a thing. So, I mean, I knew it was a thing, I just didn't think it was that big of a thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. Kind of? Thank you.
I was sort of the same. I didn't realize how great it was until I started playing Mario Kart, and then I was like, "Oh, this is so awesome!" And just the joy of it. I mean, these characters, and it's beautiful. It's fun. It takes you out of your world and into another world, and there's just nothing like it. So that's when it became real for me. Not when I was voicing it, but when I got to play it. Honestly.
And I had played it, before I ever was a part of it, and thought it was a great game and loved it. Like at the time I was in that show racing Mario Kart with my DS Lite in my pocket. I was just doing theater and never kind of thought that that was something that I was going to do, because I don't even know if Rosalina was in the game. I don't know if Galaxy had even come out at that point. And I wasn't the first person to do it, so I hadn't really thought about it. But I will say, and I was the same as Kenny. Like, I didn't like have it in any of my profiles, or Portland, the community there just was less involved in Comic Cons and things like that. So now, for the last 5 years being down in California, it's you just start realizing how much of a fan base there is and how much people want to interact, and that's been really exciting to see. And then you're like, wow, it is such an honor to be a part of something that people enjoy that much.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We love the games ourselves, and these characters they're bigger than any of us. You know, we love them. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, y'all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great job.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
It's an honor to be in the presence of the actual president of Nintendo. And I remember that E3. That was really funny. But my question is, out of all the Mario games you've ever played, which one has your favorite soundtrack?
I have to say it would be Super Mario World, because that's one of the first ones I played, and we played it so much I can't believe we didn't flunk out of school, because we were constantly playing it, and that would run through my head when I would be going to sleep at night, because I'd been listening to it all day.
She stole my answer.
Was that yours?
I love the soundtrack.
She's
on
answering
that.
for all of us. So.
Is that yours too?
Yeah. Go ahead.
There are so many cool little unique pieces of music all throughout that game, like when you go underwater and all that. And then Yoshi, I'm like, that's one of my favorites. I mean, now the scores are more intricate, not just electronic goofiness, but I still like playing that game.
It's my favorite 2D Mario game.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my question would be, if you could have the abilities of any of the Nintendo characters from Mario, which would it be?
Meowser.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like when Rosalina turns into a cat. That'd be fun to be another species
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, I don't want to fly or anything. I just want to.
That would be
I just
cool.
want to be a cat and climb buildings and swat people.
Sleep in the sun. Have people
Don't you
pet
guys
me.
wish you could just get power-ups, like just go along and suddenly get? That's what he does with Red Bull, but it's not the same.
Yeah, every time you drink those, you should go bloop, bloop, bloop.
I like it too. Like if you're ever racing and you're driving and you just you have abilities to do things, and then you get in your car and you're like, oh yeah, right. Note to self: this isn't a game.
Yeah.
Just use a blue shell on the person in front of you.
Right?
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
It's so wonderful to see all of you guys, and I know that most of you guys started in theater, and I was wondering who or what was your inspiration to just dive into voice acting?
I kind of stumbled into I mean, I was a fan of cartoons, and I loved June Foray. That when I realized she did all the voices in Rocky and Bullwinkle, like she was all the women in that, and Rocky. No one really knows the gender of Rocky, do we? It's just kind of So that was, I remember being really impressed with that and thinking that was really cool. But I kind of started doing commercial work and then got sent auditions to do animation and video game type stuff after that. And I was like, this is great, because this is using all this acting work I've been working on in theater, and now I get to bring that, but I don't have to worry about how I look, and I don't have to memorize it, and I don't have to put makeup on. And
So just the perfect one.
yeah, it was this perfect marriage of stuff, being able to act behind the mic, and you can do it it's not like you get one shot at it, or you're doing it live in front of an audience. Like, you can do it multiple times and try a lot of different things, and that it was so creative and collaborative. And then I'm such a fan of artwork, like wandering around that exhibit hall and just seeing all this great art. And then I love when I get an audition and they send you a drawing and a description of what that character's like, and you get to try and put out your idea of how they should sound. That is so exciting. It's so fun, because a lot of times you can send 2 takes, so you're like, well, maybe this person sounds like this, but then maybe I give them a little bit of a different dialect, and I put this on this, or maybe I put it down here. That you get to play and send different takes, because sometimes you're like, I don't know, this could go a lot of different ways.
It's so wonderful that they give you guys creative liberty too.
In an audition, for sure, yeah, because and I sometimes think they don't know what they want. They know it when they hear it, and to be able to be a part of that process, where they may have put specs down in a certain way, and then you're like, I did it to the specs, and then I did something that just I thought was fun, and they're like, that's what I like right there. You're just like, whoa, who knew?
Yeah, and that's the encouragement too. If any of you guys are interested in doing video games someday, is that it's such a team effort. So we'll have like a group, like maybe 8 people sitting there, and you'll do something, and then they go, do that, but make it sound cuter, or make it sound more frightened, or make it just a little bit bigger, you know, and all this stuff. And then you learn to take direction, and it's the group. But if you're someone who has a good vision for that kind of thing, and you can hear it with your ears, that's probably a great place for you. I was really shy, like a super shy little kid. I didn't even talk until like 5th grade to anyone but my family. And so it's just kind of an encouragement, you know, that when you're doing a character, you're being someone different than you, and it's a great place to hide out. You know, it's like you can be something else. And so that's how I got into it. And then I was doing a lot of radio, and so I did a lot of commercials, and then kept getting auditions. And I don't know, I just think if you love it, if you love sound and tweaking sound, that eventually your job with it comes, you know, if you enjoy it.
All cartoons, ever since I was little. It doesn't matter whether I liked it or not. I was fascinated by the fact that somebody was doing that.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people that grow up not realizing that there's a human, you know, behind the cartoon. But I knew, you know, I was all like, I know there's somebody that's, you know, doing this voice. But I didn't do anything about it forever except get in trouble at school, you know, impersonating cartoon characters. But because I didn't start acting until I was 40. So
it's never too late.
Now
So start
I'm
anytime.
I'm much older than 40 now.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
This was a question for Kenny. So in Smash Bros. Ultimate, like I made Bowser, and like I just love his kit and all of his moves and everything. But the one thing that I am so disappointed by is that they weren't able to get you to voice him, because like Bowser in Smash sounds like almost Godzilla-esque, and like he just like makes a ton of like raptor screeches and stuff like that. But I've always wondered, were you given the opportunity to play as Bowser in Smash Bros. Like on the Wii U and like Ultimate?
That producer exclusively uses animal sounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And he just it doesn't seem like he's ever going to change. So.
And I guess that also explains like Donkey
That's-
Kong also being like not really his normal voice in the game.
Yeah, it's funny that you brought that up because of the way you put it with Godzilla. Because I've had people come up to my table before and go, "How come you sound like Godzilla in, you know, Smash Ultimate or whatever?" And I'd be like, "Because it's not me."
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I just wish it like.
Because it is Godzilla.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. They
So you
took
would
a
have loved to do
crocodile
that.
and an elephant or something and squished it together. I have no idea.
Yeah, and I forget. Are you guys voicing in like Smash games, like Rosalina?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are.
I
That's
think
why I'm
Carrie
like-
Kane is in a lot of the Smash games.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Like, as
It's hard
Rosalina?
because IMDb is not always right. Like sometimes that can be off. Like they will list you in a game you're in or not. Or I mean, they've got me listed in a couple films I'm not in. I wish I was in those films.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, that would have been a good
IMDb
paycheck.
sucks.
But I was like, that isn't me. And I'm sure whoever it was would like the credit. And I wrote to them, and they're like, they refused to take it off. So you can't always 100% trust
Yeah.
that. And yeah, so it's. But I think it's mostly Carrie in those games. But I don't know that for a fact.
But I'm in Smash, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it'd be really cool to. It would be really cool to see all of you guys three in like the next Smash if there.
I
ever
would love
comes
that
one. That would
too,
be so
yeah.
awesome to see you guys in it.
Thank you for saying
you.
that.
So the question I actually had was, I'm a game dev. Like I've actually worked on games. I was just curious, what is the most crazy or amusing day you ever had during the production of one of your games?
Meowser. You guys don't realize how difficult that was. I'll go back to that answer so many times. With that type of question, it's Meowser.
The most recent thing that I did that was sort of the coolest for me was, it wasn't a game, but it was the Super Mario World, the worlds that are coming out. And I got to voice the Peach character there. And it was like, for me, so cool because she's saying sentences, you know, and in the games, a lot of times it's kind of short. So
Like
it was
crashing into a wall.
Yeah, it was so fun. So for me, that was the most interesting, just going, you know, she gets to come alive, not just little phrases, but to actually speak with people, which was really cool. So that was my favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. Yeah.
But my question is, it's a really short question. Is there any particular outfit your character has ever worn that is like a favorite outfit?
Yes. Trench coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like her motorcycle outfit. I think is pretty
Yes.
cool. Like I have a print of that down there. I think that one's good. But I do like just the traditional blue dress too. I think is really pretty.
Yeah, love it.
How about you, Bowser? Your wedding outfit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, you know, what else has he been in? But I have 5 different amiibos for Bowser. And I gotta say that my favorite one is Dark Bowser from Skylanders. So that's a groovy outfit right there. Because he's spooky looking.
It's pretty cool.
You know, because it's just black with a hammer. So I dig that outfit.
Thank you
It's
so
better
much.
than the wedding one. That was just silly.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Well, I have noticed that some of the Nintendo bots have been kind of iffy about what's copyright and what's not. Have you ever had troubles with those bots coming after you in things not related to Nintendo, since you were the voice actor for a few of the characters?
I haven't had any problems.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is. A Nintendo bot?
There's bots that come after people for copyright.
Oh, yeah. I haven't had any problems.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
And
that. I'm
then,
glad.
yeah,
I'm glad I don't know.
Glad
about
that hasn't happened.
No.
No, we're pretty much okay as long as we walk the line. You know, stay within the realm of the character, and you know, I'm not doing anything outside of what he would do. Like, you know, if people come to my table and they want to go, hey, can I record you saying happy birthday to Bob, you know, in Bowser's voice? I'm like, no, I can't do it. I'll do it in Bowserese and then translate, you know, so I can go and then go, what he said was, you know, and do the translation. But yeah, no, I haven't had any problems. I don't know about you guys. Yeah.
My second question is, what was your like most or least confident work that you've ever done? Voice acting work.
For video game stuff?
Yeah, like which game were you most nervous about releasing or most confident about releasing?
That's a good question.
I was probably most nervous about Super Mario 3D World only because it was my first video game ever. Like, I had never done anything before, so you were just like, I hope they like this. I hope I do a good job.
Yeah, my first one was Strikers, and it was the same. And the reason it was hard for me was because I was trying to match the voice to an animation, and the timing was perfect. You know, countdown 3, 2, 1, run, run, run. You know, and so trying to make it match, and I felt super incompetent, like, I didn't get that right again, you know, and I just kept trying and trying. So to me, it was kind of a miracle that I got called again, because I was like, that was really hard. But the rest of them after that, it wasn't that hard. It was after that, it was a pleasure. So yeah, the first one for me, agreed.
I don't have any problems with any of them.
Kenny?
I've always been, if the director tells me I did what they wanted, then I'm fine with it too.
I admire that confidence.
I'm pretty laid back when it comes to that. I mean, I was, okay, I will put a little stipulation that 3D World, again, everything that I had to do as Meowser has to be approved by Japan. So I was scared to death for a little while that they were going to reject my tracks and I would have to do it over again.
Yeah.
Because it was so strained and stressful and painful at times that I was afraid, oh, what if they hate it? I'm going to have to try to do it again and do it differently. Because obviously if they didn't like it the first time, I can't do the same thing again, right? So pins and needles for a day and a half or two, and then I went in the studio and I said, what about the Meowser stuff? And they said, we're translating an email from Japan. And I was like, yay. And then they came in and said, okay, they loved all that stuff, moving on. And so that's probably the only time I was ever really nervous about something, but it was pre-release, you know, so I was like, I could fix it. I just didn't want to have to, if you know what I mean.
Hi, so of course it's exciting to see all of you here, especially since the voices you provide for the characters are the ones used all around the world. So it's kind of like, you can even hear it in Japanese streams and Chinese language streams, and it's really, really cool. So my question is kind of like following up on the Nintendo of Japan, because you mentioned them, because Kenny mentioned them earlier. So when you guys do the roles, do you get a lot of feedback from like NCL, Nintendo of Japan? Are they really picky, or maybe, or do they give you a lot of directions? So I'm just kind of curious about that.
They're awesome.
Direction.
They're so nice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There's plenty of direction, and as far as interacting with Japan, I've had a couple of sessions where they were either listening on the phone from the booth, or, you know, from the control room, I mean. And then one time they had a laptop right next to my mic. And I was like, what's the deal with the laptop? Because it was just blank. And they went, oh, Japan's watching.
No pressure.
And I was like,
right?
neat.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, that's cool. And then I started goofing on them. So, you know, I would go, you know, do my thing, and then I'd look at the screen and go, eh?
Yeah?
So they got a big kick out of that. Thought I was pretty funny. But, yeah,
They're always so
every once in a
supportive.
while they're looking over our shoulders.
Yeah, they're nice, though, always the best feedback. Like, and they're not picky to me. I mean, we may be behind the scenes. They're negotiating whether we want to do more or not or different, but for the most part, they're just kind and so generous with being nice to us.
And it's good to have, it's just so nice to know that you've got someone with like a, I guess, overreaching vision of the whole project, right? Like they're looking at it from macro, and sometimes you can get really micro with what you're working on. So knowing there's like kind of a quality control check across the whole thing, that's actually really reassuring. That because people who play it are going to notice if it's all over the place. So it is great to be like, I always appreciate that, and I appreciate even any time where you've got people kind of checking in while you're doing it and saying, yep, this is the direction we're heading. Like that just helps you do your job better, as opposed to being like, I hope this is working, and I'm not going to like have to come in and, like Kenny said, and redo a bunch, or people are going to notice that it sounds like this in one thing and this in another. That's something you actually would worry about. So yeah, it's great to have them there.
It's a bit unnerving sometimes when you're recording and you look up and they're talking amongst themselves without the talkback button on, and you're like, oh no, what did I do? Why are they talking so much? You know, and they're sitting in there going, well, when we're done here, we're going to go get some sushi or whatever, you know. And I think they're talking about me, you know. But it's a little bizarre when if you're recording and they do have Japan on, and the director starts speaking Japanese. And I'm like, now what are they? It's the same thing. It's the same feeling. It's like, what are they talking about? Why are they talking about me? You know, I get a little paranoid that way. But it's all fun.
Good question.
All right.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Likewise.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Now, real quick before I get to my question, I just want to anecdotally mention I do play Bowser in Mario Kart myself, so I am right there with Kenny. You know, once you get him
That's
going,
two of
it's
us.
the power, yeah. Oh, he's a lot of people I know can't play him, but I have always played Bowser unless I want to be cheap, and then I'm usually Toad or one of the babies. They're
You
really
just have
fast.
to keep him
Baby time.
accelerating.
Yeah,
man.
you
That's
just
it.
exactly.
And maybe stay off Rainbow Road. Hate Rainbow
That's for
Road.
sure. Now, real quick, before I ask my real question, because it's a bit of an obscure one, I just got to check, because I know that the Mario characters have had different voices at different points. And this is mainly for Kenny and Samantha. How long have you been voicing Bowser and Peach, respectively?
18 years for me.
Yeah, since 2007 for me.
Okay. I'm going to take a shot with this one then.
Okay, go ahead.
basically, there's some people online who are trying to figure out if there's any truth to the rumor that back during the trade shows like E3, Space World, all that stuff, when they had the talking Mario head and the talking Wario head, if that would like talk to the people at the conference and stuff, like you go talk to the big screen and they'd actually have the voice actor behind the screen. Did either of you work on that at any point?
No.
No.
No, not me. I think that's all Charles all the time.
Okay, yeah, because there's people that are trying to figure out if it's true. Was there ever a Bowser one or a Peach one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, I was just wondering about that. Thought I'd take my shot, but yeah, it's great to see you all here.
Thanks, it's great to see you. Nice to see you too.
All right,
Thank you. Thanks.
So this one was mostly for Kenny. But what is your opinion on Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story?
My opinion?
Yeah.
I got a couple of memories about that. I remember that session specifically because that was the day I met Charles for the first time. But the game itself is so different. That's what makes it as good as it is, because it's like an entirely different entity. I think that was actually the developer was from out of Canada, I think.
I don't quite remember where Alpha Dream's from.
It seems like that's something that's stuck in my brain somewhere. Yeah, I have one memory about that. With Charles comes in, I was on my way out. They got him sushi and told me that I could have the snacks in the lounge. So that's when I realized my place.
Aww.
So
You got some leftover peanuts.
They offered me some. They were like, "Hey, you want some?"
Leftover
you're just sitting there
sushi.
looking sad.
Aww.
And I was like, I just stuck around to meet Charles, and now they got him sushi, and I didn't want to eat any sushi though. But no, I think the game's great. I think it's different, and I think it's going to stand up for a long time. I still constantly get people bringing me the cover art for that to autograph it.
People probably really like you saying showtime.
Yeah, I've said it several times already this weekend. So
Nice. Good stuff.
And I think I said Nintendo in that one too.
Yeah, in the cover.
Yeah, it's like the boots when it boots up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Been a while.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I was just wondering that if money wasn't an issue and you could do anything, like what would you want to cosplay as? Any character?
Wait, whatty?
Zelda.
I think I would do Noelle from Genshin Impact because I think the costume's incredible. I just would never have the patience to try to put that together myself. Like, I'm so impressed with people who do any of those anime costumes are gorgeous. But yeah, I think that'd be super fun because it's so intricate.
Oh wow, what a question. If money was no object though, and here I go again, I would build a massive Meowser suit. I know I seem obsessed, but I mean, come on, it's Meowser. He's really cute. He's got little ears and a tail and claws.
Do you dream about Meowser? Does Meowser haunt your dreams?
I'm good. Yeah, between Meowser and Toad. She does that to me on purpose.
I like to annoy him.
Yeah, I would. I'd build a giant Meowser suit, but it would have to be big. I mean, it would have to be like motor assisted or something. I would want it to be so massive that they would have to have like clear the hall for me, as I come through. And then it would be big enough to have a PA system built in so I could do the voice myself.
All right, next SacAnime, it's on.
The gauntlet has been thrown, Kenny James.
You are awesome. Thank you so
very
much. Thank
I
you.
should clarify too. I wouldn't build it. I would have it built.
You would have it built. Yeah.
I'm no engineer.
Thank you guys for being here and supporting our show. Give a big round of applause for our guests,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.